Are you sure that he will help us defeat Darkseid? Darkseid's never fought us before, not us united.
Yeah, he's faster than a speeding roadrunner, more powerful than an electric eel, and he will leap whole planets in a single time warp. And that's me, Captain Carrot.
I don't like him.
Hello my friends, and welcome back to Player Display for another unboxing and review, as we do on this humble little channel. So I just got back from the theaters after watching Gladiator 2, which you can pass on it, you don't need to see it, it's fine. But before I went into the theaters, I managed to stop by a few toy shops, and I came upon this dude who's pretty hard to come by these days. McFarlane Collector Edition DC Multiverse Captain Carrot, the standard one, not to be mistaken with the Platinum one, which does vary just a little bit. Now, this is a character who, when he was first announced on pre-order, I was like, I could pass, not too obsessed with him, don't really feel either way about it, and I know nothing about this character at all. But then when I came upon this guy in person, I'm like, ooh, this figure's really stupid. I have to have it. And I got no other explanation for you. I just looked at it, thought it was cool, wanted to add it to the collection, and I can do a little bit of a judging here. Is this a worthy collector's edition or is it not? I'm not too sure yet. Again, I know nothing about this character, don't know what the accessories are going to be like, so we're going to take this open, going to do a nice tried and true review, and we'll see what we got. So, anyhow, all things start here with the box. Very standard McFarlane Collector's Edition box, so basically means it should come with more stuff, including the infamous card stand, which it seems like they're rolling out now, which is very good, and also it is slightly upticked in price. But then again, I also got it from FYE, so it was even more up in price, but it was less than eBay, so I was fine with it. And then down here, you got DC Multiverse Captain Carrot. Off to the side, all the same text, just formatted differently, along with my tools and future size comparisons. Off to the back, you have a really awesome portrait of Captain Carrot with the big ol' stupid barcode slapped on there. Thanks, FYE. Really appreciate that. That's pretty much it for the box. So let's just hop. I always say it all the time, but sometimes I write puns without even trying. But anyways, let's do it. Let's review Captain Carrot. So, if you remember back to my Marvel Legends collecting days, I don't really collect them much now because I feel like I pretty much have a nice full collection of Marvel figures at this point. I am a sucker for those weird, wacky superhero, supervillain characters, and this is certainly one of them, but even then, I did not understand the hype around this figure. All I remember is that when the pre-orders happened, they were gone like that. I'm like, why? Really? Like, I understand there's a niche audience for weird characters like this. Like that includes me, I'm part of that audience, but why Captain Carrot? But now that I've got him in hand, there's a few surprises in here that make this dude very, very interesting. So let's talk about him. Firstly, here we have a really great head sculpt. I mean, love or hate this character or concept or figure, this head sculpt is very beautifully detailed. You can see they've got sculpted fur in here, a little ridges in there to indicate extra little strands and everything. Two little trademark buck teeth. Also got this pink, purple nose, whatever's going on in there. And when you look at the mask, it actually reminds me a good deal of Deadpool with the whited out eyes. There is a platinum version, as I mentioned before. That one had brown accents on the fur, along with pupils. So I guess you could go either way stylistically. For me, I guess I prefer this one just because he feels more comic-y because he's less detailed. But that being said, there's still a ton punched in here. And then we get to the ears. And first of all, they look great. They got the pink or magenta, or I don't know, maybe I'm going colorblind here, but it's a nice color, whatever's going on, regardless of how I describe it. You got the white continuing on off to the back, along with these little tufts on the back of the head sculpt as well. But the thing that took me way off guard is these ears are articulated. They are on ball joints, so you can actually make this dude pretty expressive. So this is one of those things where maybe this is what drove people towards this figure, because on aftermarket, he's very unobtainium at this point.
Unobtainium.
Like, maybe it's a combination of the fact that he's got some extra little bonuses in here, the fact that he is inherently a really wacky character. I don't know, but I'll shut up. Let's keep going. Down to the torso, he is meant to be an homage, or rather a ripoff of Superman, quite blatantly so. And you see that here. You got a big old C for hope, of course. Nah, for carrot. Looking very good. And you also have these carrots accents on here, because Of course, you got one behind the scene, and you got two over here pinning down the cape. And as for the cape, this is before they started using soft goods, I believe. So this is a solid cape. But you know me, I have full intent of making my own soft goods bendy wire cape. For this figure, I did do a tutorial if you want to check it out on my channel. It's a long one, but might help you out. Then off to the bodysuit, while it makes me mildly tryptophobic because of the little honeycomb texture it's got, it is very nice. It is very consistent. You can notice here, it's not just spandex. It's got, again, this honeycomb look, and it's all indented. It's not printed on or anything. It's nice. It's a nice extra step for this figure. And again, another thing that adds to the premium feel of this figure. The more I stare at this figure and, well, toy around with him, the more I understand why people like this figure so much. Down to the arms, I say down as if we're going that far down. They're big, bulky arms. He's just a big dude in general, but really massive muscles here. Then down here, we also have a glove with more carrots, and we have, by default, he has more hands, of course, but we have two hands here. We got a grip, which may be a trigger finger, interestingly enough, which is very cool, and he also got a pointing hand. I really like these hands. We'll talk about hands more once you get to accessories, but I love how they're not only textured, but also painted on the inside. That is a really big step. I think it helps the fact that this figure is bigger than normal. The bigger a figure is, the more details you can squeeze in, and they did their part here. I mean, that's what helps us to make this a worthy collector's edition, in my opinion. However, it is not without fault. There is some paint slop over here, on this hand at least, but then again, he has no accessories to hold, spoiler, so it's not a huge deal. I probably won't be having him with this particular hand anyways, but that's fine, all well and good. Going on down to the pelvis, we got the McFarlane diaper, we got a red belt with some yellow straps to hold it up. Looks like it pans all the way around, and I didn't even expect a little bushy tail over here. They could have totally skipped that if they wanted to. I mean, the cape's going to hide it, and it's on the back of the figure, but the fact that we have it at all, god damn it, it's so ridiculous, and I love it. It's great. This is such a fun and stupid figure. It's the best kind of fun there is. Stupid fun, right? Down to the legs, more of the yellow honeycomb. And some really interesting looking boots over here. Very Superman-ish, I suppose you could say. Actually, there is one thing I'm noticing here that I don't love. It's not the biggest deal, but you'll notice that the texture on the bodysuit actually continues down here to the boot sculpt, but it is molded entirely in red. They didn't go over this with yellow, which would have been nice, would have made this figure just a little bit better, but I guess it's not the worst thing. I mean, maybe you can assume, oh, maybe he's wearing some socks under here that happen to have the same texture, but then again, they've got that little panel line over here that continues down, so once you see it, it's a little hard to not see anymore, but when you're looking at it from the front, then the kneecap and the boots kind of prevail anyways, so it's not the most noticeable thing, not as distracting as it would be like on the Nightmare Batman that we reviewed before, where you had the mismatched elbows. In this case, it's not the worst. I can get past that. It's alright. And also, I hate painting in yellow, so don't ask me to. I'm not even going to try that. And then down here, you also have 3 chubby little toes, which I really love. And I also forgot to mention with the gloves, or the hands rather, he has 4 digits. So I think that is also a very fun detail of this figure. That's pretty much it for aesthetics. I mean, I'm kind of beating a dead horse by reviewing him. I'm sure many people already have, but I mean, it's a new figure for this channel, so why not review him and get some new perspectives? No harm in that, right? So, all that being said, let's move on to accessories. First things first, shall we all vomit in unison for this card stand? Okay, let's do it together. Okay, let's get rid of this thing. Moving on, we also have a trading card with some really awesome artwork on the front. I'm happy this is here because on the box it's all screwed up by that barcode. But anyways, you got a little bit of that holographic McFarlane Collector Edition foil on the side. Flip it around, here's a bio, which I just read for myself, and you can read for yourself as well. And it's just as wacky as I expected. Although it does kind of lose me at that last sentence. He is Earth 26's member in the Pan-Multiversal Super Team Justice Incarnate. That's too many details for my little mind, but whatever. It's just as insane as you'd want a Super Rabbit to be. I guess kind of the DC equivalent of Spider-Ham, if you will. So, you know, instead of Superman, you get Captain Carrot and Spider-Man, Spider-Ham. So I guess that's the way I'm viewing this character. And then also, what's a figure from McFarlane without a figure stand? But it's not just a figure stand, it's a flight stand. So I don't know if this character can necessarily fly, or does he hop? I'd imagine he can just hop really high. That's how I prefer to imagine him, but yeah, same deal. You click in the stand there, and let's see how the clamp is, because clampage has varied on these various stands for me. Ooh, this one ratchets really nice, though. It's really tight. Okay, I'm happy about that. Nice, because I was using one for my Henry Cavill Superman. It was pretty loosey-goosey, so he might get this one. I don't know if Captain Carrot even needs a figure stand to stand out. He's so goddamn big, but still nice to have. Speaking of have, what else does he have? He's got alternate hands. What sort of hands? He's got two open hands over here for the left and right. Once again, textured very brilliantly on the inside, and in this case, it looks like the paint is pretty solid. Let's pop in a little bit. These are a bit small in that perspective. There we go. And the sculpt is also very good on the outside as well, not to discredit that. It's got those wrinkles in there for the gloves, and then on the inside you get the texturing, which is fantastic. Love that a lot. As for alternate hands, he's also got a thumbs up hand, so he could be pointing to himself, saying, good job. Not totally sure if this dude's a hero or an antagonist, really. I can't really tell from the card. He fought Darkseid, so I guess that's hero enough. They also got a fist over here for the lefty, but you don't have a fist for the right, which does bug me a bit. Bug, like Bugs Bunny? That's because Bunny, this is a bunny figure. We've gone over all the accessories, and the last thing to do here is see what it's like to swap out the various hands. So let's get rid of the grip. It seems like this is the only hand that has any paint swap, so I will be happy to get rid of this. Would have been nice to have given him, well, you know, a carrot or something for him to hold, but aside from that, I don't see any use in having this hand, so no problems getting rid of that. Let's give him the thumbs up. I'm sure that should look really awesome and chipper. There he is. And yeah, it's pretty sweet. Eat your vegetables, kids. And then we go over here to the left. He's got the pointing finger, so he could be pointing, any which way you want. But we can pop that out. Also no problem. And slot in. Look at those giant pegs. Jeez. And slot in an open hand. And that could be for when he's flying or hopping or giving a crisp high five. Whatever you want. Now, when it gets to articulation time for a McFarlane figure, honestly, I get a little bit bored because you kind of already know what to expect just by eyeballing the thing, but tradition's tradition, right? I think the most exciting thing here that worth talking about is, again, the ball joints in the ears, which can go any which way you want. Straight up, out, we got some forward, we got some back as well. Have them alternating a bit so he can be a little more expressive, like he's confused, a little quizzical over there. I don't know, things you could do. You can also combine that with the head articulation. Haven't really played around with this too much yet. Got a good amount down. Not getting a ton back, though. Not really any tilt either, but there is swivel. I would have loved some tilt in there, though. Little note in post, I was fiddling around with this dude for a while, and there is actually better articulation in the head than I thought. If you have the ball joint in the head, if you have it back, then you're not going to be getting any tilt. But if you pop it forward, then you should be able to get some more tilt there. So you have him looking down a little bit, and then you get the tilt right there. So then if you lean the torso back a tad, and then you can get his hands on his hips, and pop out a little bit, and hey, you get a thumbnail, right? You also got butterfly joints in the arms, of course, as is a McFarlane trademark by this point, and very seamless too. They blend in pretty well with the big old bulky shoulders over here, which I do like. And you swivel all the way around, you got your bicep cut, double jointed elbow. Doesn't go all the way in on behalf of the musculature and the glove, but that's fine. Standard wrists, we won't even go over those because it's pretty much the same thing as always. As for the torso and the waist, you can go down pretty good. Actually, let's pop out here. And also back, not too bad either, although you do get a lot of gap here to look down and see his carrot. As for legs, pretty good splits. He's pretty dynamic. I mean, he should be. He is a superhero / villain. I don't really know the status of this guy. As for kicking out, pretty great. I mean, he's got to get some leg work in. He is a rabbit after all. Double jointed knees, although it does get stuck back here on the calf, so it doesn't go all the way in, but you really need it further than that. And then you also, of course, have toe articulation, which is actually not stiff at all. I expected it to click out, but no, it's very swift, moves very well. And you also got standard ball joints down here. Now you're forward, now you're back, and then you've got some rocker. All around, I'm very pleased with this figure. He's pretty damn cool. Here we are at size comparisons, and he's actually not quite as tall as I imagined him to be. Certainly big, he's got a wide frame on him, but not really that tall when you exclude the ears. It's really the ears and the billowiness of the cape that make him seem larger than life, but I like that illusion that he gives off. So he's still just as tall as your standard McFarlane fare, like this Batman from the Nightfall 2-pack, but also bigger than the NECA release of Superman from the Superman vs. Alien 2-pack. So no matter which way you go with 7-inch figures, he'll stand out in his unique way. I can buy into the fact that a cartoony character like Captain Carrot would be taller than Superman, but I can also accept that he is perhaps the same height as Batman. Either way, no matter which way you twist it, it works. Even if he were smaller, it would still look good. But as will be tradition from now on this humble little channel of ours, we should compare him next to some 6-inch fare. So here you have the Star Wars The Black Series, Quash, and Mechamuck!
I'm hunting rabbits.
I don't know, man. There's a new one out there that might be too swole to control.
This primeval Westar has killed men, women, and children too.
Hunting lesser prey? Are you a man or a mouse?
Holy hot damn, this deal's getting worse all the time.
Attack!
So this dude is an interesting entry in the McFarlane Collector series, and is he worthy? I think absolutely. I think it really comes down, ironically, not to the accessories and what he comes with, but rather with how the figure stands on his own. It's really in the hyper details. You got the honeycomb details in the suit, you got the hyper detailed head, the articulation in the ears, and the carrots. So this is the only time where I'm appraising a collector's edition figure because of what the figure is on its own, aside from what it could potentially come with. I don't think he needs much else, aside from a righty fist that would have been appreciated. But that being said, I think he's got all he needs as he stands, and the hands are a bonus. If you sold this guy as a collector's edition, just based on his size and detail alone, I'd probably accept that. It's a very interesting figure, and on top of that, he comes with a card stand, if you even friggin' want that. I don't know why you would, but it's there. And you also, of course, get a figure flight stand over here, which he is able to stand on, a little wobbly right now because of the little turntable I got here, but actually kind of adds to the floating in the breeze sort of look that I was going for, so that's really cool. But yeah, this figure is very rare now. I'm actually surprised I got him at the price that I got him at. I'm surprised I even found him in the wild at all. You get it? Because it's a rabbit. Rabbits in the wild. But even then, I'm still not totally sure why this dude was so sought after. I mean, I understand that he's a great figure in him of himself, but also he's not really mainstream. Not a ton of people know about him. I don't even know about him, even though I just read the card. But yeah, kind of a phenomenon. This dude just flew right off the shelves. Well, not even off the shelves, just off the websites themselves. So this one's kind of an anomaly. Can't really figure this one out. Let me know in the comments, why do you think this figure is so coveted? Why is he so special? And that's pretty much it. Pretty short one today, so we will just wrap up. I will not waste any more of your time. But that being said, if you enjoyed, then please, as per usual, be sure to
Like, comment,
Ring the bell to be notified of our latest arrivals. And subscribe.
yeah, hi, Mechamuck here. If you want to see more from Pod Guy, then please be sure to check out the Pod Plays channel down in the description for some Let's Plays. And if you want to support the channel a bit too, you also got the Pod Patreon, which is down in the description as well. See you around, folks!
Thank you guys very much for watching. Rock on, and I will see you all later.